Hey everyone, so today I wanted to talk about how to make your first $10,000. A lot of people find it very, very difficult in order to amass their first $10,000, and that can be for a variety of reasons. Maybe you have a low income job. Maybe you have children or people that you're supporting. Maybe you have a spouse or significant other that is always wanting to go out and spend money. Maybe you have debts, medical bills, prior obligations that have constrained you to a degree in order to live paycheck to paycheck in order to meet your needs. However, there are still options for you. The first thing that I noticed is that a lot of people do not budget or plan accordingly. You know what your big ticket items are. You know how much you're spending on that. And then the worst part of all is some people don't know how much they have to spend on certain things, right? So the first thing is, for example, there are people who are on child support. You may have to pay $500 a month on a low income. How do you budget accordingly in order to live a better life? Well, do you live in a 2-bedroom house? If so, is the other room rented out? If you live in a 1-bedroom house, do you have pets or animals that you are taking care of currently? And it may be better for them to live with a family member or even to sell it, unless it's a animal that you need in order to live a mentally healthy life. Now, with that out of the way, basically, are you maximizing your residence as a place for you to earn or save an income? The next step would be, what are you using to get to work? Do you work from home? Maybe you need a work from home job that pays just as much. Or maybe you need to utilize the bus systems rather than a vehicle if the vehicle is what's holding you back. Or maybe you need to downgrade in car in order to still be able to save and add a cushion to your life rather than paying the average car payment of over $700 a month now, right? So when we look at these things, a lot of people may say, well, I have to have a car. Do you? Do you have to have a car? Well, there's buses, there's bikes, there are jobs that you can get that's closer. Now, if your job pays a substantial amount that you can't get nowhere else, and there are no bus lines that go that way, and there is nobody who is willing to carpool to take you to work, then, and only then, you may have to look at your options as a whole and say, you know what, I've already downsized in car. I still pay $400 a month. There is no wiggle room for me to go down any further. And this is what I need in order to make ends meet. Now, once you've acknowledged that, accepted that, and understood that, the next step is, okay, we have maximized our residence. We have maximized our car as a utility. We have asked for the raise. We understand that we are performing our job to our utmost skill set, and then we are receiving as much pay as we should for that skill set. With that, we are budgeting and planning. This is where people will get lost at. Budgeting and planning. What are we budgeting for in order to plan for, right? So what you're budgeting is that phone bill, that internet bill, that cable bill, that Netflix and chill bill, that that nice thing that you had on layaway bill, that new couch bill, that new Christmas decoration bill, and then everything else in between, including dates, eating out, bills, right? So the first thing that people normally say to get rid of is, hey, get rid of that Apple Music, get rid of that Netflix, that Hulu. But ultimately, the real problem is not the Netflix, the Hulu, and everything else. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get rid of it. Maybe you should. But those are $10, $20 ticket items that altogether may not even amass to $50 a month, right? So your spending may be coming from another source. It may be eating out where you're spending $40 a day on something like Chipotle or Shake Shack, Five Guys, whatever it may be. Or you might be spending $80 a week on pizza, alcohol, whatever your niche is, right? There's people who like to reward themselves. Oh, I just finished a long week of work. I need a bottle today. I need to buy myself a bottle. It's only $12. But that bottle that was only $12, you reward yourself with that every single week. So for 4 weeks, you're drinking $48 worth a month. On top of that, you need something to eat with. So you buy a bag of chips to go alongside that $48 of alcohol a month. Now that bag of chips that cost you $3 turns into $12 a month, raising that total investment in treating yourselves to $60 a month, on top of the Apple Music, the Spotify, the Netflix, the Hulu. Now you're spending $120 a month. Another thing that always gets me is the phone bill. Not only do you have a phone bill, but you have a phone plan. And that plan requires you to also be paying off your phone. Why don't people already own their phone outright? A phone is not worth paying $1,000 for if you can't pay for it outright. Why is that? There are phones that do the same thing outside of FaceTime for $100, $40. And yet we will spend $160 a month for 24 months to pay off a phone that next year the newer version is coming out and we couldn't afford the version 2 years ago. How does that make sense? So now we've been treating ourselves. We've been binging, watching whatever we want to watch. Our phone plan is costing us another $300, all in on fun that you think is a necessity. We're spending close to $500 a month. So I'm not saying that we should go without, but what I am saying is, what if you had a $100 phone and now you didn't have a plan that caused you to pay $160 a month just for a phone plan? What if you had a provider that charged you only $30, $20, $40 a month for your phone line? You're going to realize real quickly how many people you actually speak to regarding your life and the things that you do within it. Because during that time, you'll realize how many people do I actually call a day? Is it for business reasons? Does it put money in my pocket? And you'll start to realize that I'm spending way too much on communication. Right? So you start to trim the fat in your life that will allow you to now say, okay, this is the margin that I have that I can utilize in order to get me to where I want to be. And that's where your 10K comes from. For some people, now you can start to plan. Okay, I've planned that with a little bit of wiggle room for fun, I can get here in 7 months. Without fun, I can get here in 4 months. Or if I plan accordingly, I can get here in 14 months. Without fun, I can get here in 12 months. Right? And so in getting that 10K, you start to see that if I save that $500 a month, I'll make $6,000 a year. In less than 2 years, I'll reach $10,000. That $10,000 is going to help me to get into a better space mentally, financially, to where I can ask for more pay and demand a better living wage with my employer. Or I'll be able to buy that property and have a reduced rent cost and then save more money naturally. Or I'll be able to buy the better car and forego the repair bills that I've been having to do for repetitive maintenance. Money will help you save money, but without money, you will be forced to continue to go down a spiraling cycle. Here's an example. I don't have money for food. Therefore, I need to buy this food on my credit card. I can't pay off the credit card. Therefore, this food that cost me $10 today now costs me $15.75 tomorrow. Whereas it should be the other way around, where I can pay for $200 worth of food. Therefore, I don't spend $500 on food throughout the course of a month. You see how that works? I can afford the better vehicle. Therefore, I don't pay $700 a month on maintenance on a $3,000 vehicle. So there are a lot of things that go hand in hand. I can afford to pay $30,000 down on a $100,000 house. Therefore, my rent, my mortgage is now cheaper than me renting. So when you put all of these things into context, you understand how saving, investing properly will allow you to then make even more money later down the road. And it's all the habits that you build and instill in yourself that will allow you to reach that first 10K. So comment down below, what is your budget? And then what is your plan? And how quickly do you believe you can reach that 10K goal? And let me know how that journey goes in the comments down below. Thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.